Hi kids, I'm Courtney Ralston and I'm super excited to be sharing another fantastic recipe with you today from the Stephanie Alexander Kitchen Garden Foundation. In partnership with Coles, we've got another cracking recipe today. We're going to make some warm, fluffy pita bread. So let's get on with the cooking because I'm excited to try these. The first step is we're going to activate the yeast. So I need 65 mils of warm water that I've got in my pot here. Pop that into a bowl. I've got 2 teaspoons of sugar and I need a teaspoon of yeast. So I've just got some dried yeast here. Now we're going to give that a little stir. So what's going to happen here is that yeast is going to actually feed off the sugar and that warm water gives it a nice, comfortable environment to get nice and active. Just going to cover this with a little cloth and we're just going to put that to bed for 10 minutes to activate the yeast. I've also got some cold water here and we're going to dissolve a good pinch of sea salt in that cold water. Now the reason we don't put salt in with the yeast is because the salt actually kills the yeast. Okay, we need to pop 250 grams of plain flour into a bowl and I've got some scales underneath to measure our flour. And into the flour I've also got 50 grams of semolina. So semolina is a bit of a rougher texture and it adds a nice contrast in there to that soft flour. So that can go in. And we're just going to mix these two together with a spoon. Okay, we're going to make a well in the center and let's have a look at our yeast. It's gone nice and frothy and bubbly, which is what we want. So the yeast and sugar mixture can go into the center of that well in our bowl. And we can also go in with our cold water that's been salted. All right, and all we need to do now is to bring the liquid and the flour together to form a nice, soft dough. Once the dough starts to come together with clean hands, you can start to kind of make sure you get everything off our bowl and we can pop this onto a clean work surface. Just sprinkle your work surface with flour. And what we're going to do is knead the bread. Use your muscles. And you basically just want to push the bread away from yourself with the heel of your hand. Flip it over and do the same. And you're just going to repeat that for around 10 minutes. All right, it's been 10 minutes squishing and pushing and working our dough. And look what we've ended up with. A really nice, smooth, soft pita bread dough. Back into our bowl. Just going to line the bowl with some extra virgin olive oil and that's going to help to stop our dough sticking. Just make sure the oil's up around the side because the bread is going to grow. And all we need to do now is to pop a blanket over, find a nice little warm spot for your pita bread to go to sleep for 30 minutes and then we're going to come back and roll them out. All right, the dough has had 30 minutes and look at that. It has doubled in size. It's become nice and soft. So we can just pop this onto our work surface. A little bit of flour. We'll cut that in half. There we go. We've got some nice, you can see the air bubbles in them. All right, now what we need to do is to roll these into rough balls. And these are going to go into a tray. It's the last ball in. So now, again, we're going to let the dough rest for around 5 minutes. So back on with the blanket. Okay, 5 minutes has passed. And look, our little pita balls of dough have risen up. We can roll these out and cook them now. And I'm just going to dust my board with semolina. With your rolling pin, just roll them out. About 1/2 centimetre thick. A couple of drops of olive oil into our frying pan here. And we're going to go in with our first pita bread. And this will take a couple of minutes on each side. You can see the breads puffing up as they cook. That's going to give us a really nice light texture on the inside of our pita breads. And when your pita breads are cooked, you can just pop them into your bowl and keep them covered with a cloth. And that will just keep them nice and warm. And we're just going to do this until all of our pita breads are cooked. So they're our last couple there. I think there's only one thing left to do, and that is to break into our beautiful, still hot pita breads. Look at that. That is how you make the pita breads from the Stephanie Alexander Kitchen Garden Foundation. I hope you kids like the look of these because these are really tasty. I highly recommend giving them a go. Lots of fun and they're really versatile. Look, even our dog Pickle likes the look of these. Do you want one? I don't think these are for you.